Yo, 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 what it do? It's your boy Odovino Vega. You already know what it is. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Haven't dropped any new episodes for Chop Shop. I promise you that's coming soon. It's in the works. I just been pressed for time, busy with things. I'm hoping within the next month or so, things actually take off in the manner I need them to take off. Same thing with my music. So just stay tuned. It's coming. I'm just doing this short, quick video, hopefully short, to address three things. One, there's a video I recently saw, PBD podcast. I don't know if you watch it. If you don't, please do. They did a religious roundtable, which is something I had in mind. Only thing is they only did a Christian, two Christian guys and two Muslim guys to bring a discussion together. Although it got sidetracked, and I'm gonna explain why very quickly. Again, I don't want to make a song. And Jordan Peterson also attempted this, and it was, again, but with him it was just one Christian scholar, one Muslim scholar. Where it went wrong for them is, I believe, was for Jordan Peterson. It was probably too aspirationally ambitious. What I mean by that is, he was thinking global, and I don't think I don't think that was a realistic move to be made globally. I don't think you could get Christians from around the world and Muslims around the world to somehow just unite right away. I know why he was thinking it and why he did it, and it's because obviously on a global level he sees the rise of this new ideology, this new secular ideology that is happening in a lot of parts of the world, not just in the United States. But I think you have to start small. I think he needs to just focus on the United States for now, and then we can, go further from that. With PBD's podcast, he was thinking, he brought it in a bit, right? He brought it more into more, I guess, state-wise, because he was mentioning how can we bring, I guess, the Muslim vote to vote, with Christians and what have you. So he himself had a more local view of it. I think where it went wrong there is when you get focused on the theology of things, it distracts from what the topic I'm pretty sure he wanted to bring up, and not to say that it wasn't slightly discussed, because it slightly was, but the majority of the conversation became a debate, and that can go, south as well. And I think that, again, that happened because he kind of made the same mistake. I think I could be wrong, but I think he made the same mistake as Jordan Peterson, is that when you bring in these scholars of these practices, I feel like there's another agenda in mind, you know what I'm saying? And they're not concerned with what citizens are concerned with, So I think that's where that went wrong. But I could be wrong. But either way, I commend them, but what it showed me is that I'm onto something. And because I've been thinking about this for a while now, even before I seen them do it. But when I seen that they both did it, it's like, okay, I'm onto something. What I personally want to do is, I want to bring in, I want to talk with your average citizen of the U.S. who's Muslim, one that's Muslim, one that's Jewish, and one that's Christian. I want to bring them to this, to the table. Let's discuss what we see happening culturally, politically, society in the society, or socially is what I meant to say. Socially, politically, culturally, so forth and so forth. Let's have a discussion. Let's see what we're seeing. How can we come together to make a difference? That was my vision of how I saw that working out. And I think the only way to achieve that is by, all right, let's not focus on the theology of things, between each other, what the differences are, because I think we already know what the differences are. And if anybody doesn't know what the differences are, what that means is they don't care. So let's not worry about the differences. Let's talk about what could unite us and just focus on that. Because, from the two podcasts I've seen do it, the theology part does drive it away. On that note, I do want to just touch on one thing that I did see in the PPD video. And theologically, I'm going to try and keep it short. And the whole point is there was a confusion on who Christ is, and what he did, why it was important, and all that. Pretty much the significance of Jesus, right? The Christians were challenged, on if Jesus is God, and God commands certain death in the Old Testament, how could this be? Whatever. That's me paraphrasing and keeping it short. The response should have been, I'm not even going to say what the response was. You should probably go watch the video so you guys can see how goofy the response was on this end from the Christians in the video and that. But either way, the response should have been is that Jesus fulfilled the law, so that they could understand, like, there is no difference between God in the Old Testament and Jesus in the New Testament. Jesus came to fulfill the law, because the wages of sin is death. Simply put, the wages of sin is death. But Jesus came to fulfill that law, right? Because the law was, in order to, the remission of sin was done through through the sacrifices of animals by blood, but the reality is their blood was insufficient. It was insufficient. It was insufficient. It wasn't enough to cover our sins. The blood of Christ was. That's the significance of Christ, right? And because of that, that changed certain things within the law. Not necessarily changed it, but fulfilled it, right? So death no longer reigned over us, right? So meaning you don't have to sacrifice animals anymore, because the price was already paid, and you have no right to not that we don't have a right. Well, yeah, we don't have a right, and we don't have to kill anybody for sins. You know what I'm saying? Because the price has been paid. Simply put, that it was that simple. That's all I had to say, is that the price was paid through Christ. So you don't have to kill people who don't follow the laws of God, and you don't have to kill animals for yourself for falling short of following the laws of God. And it was that simple, really. That's me keeping it short and simple. We could go deep into the theology of it and the weeds of it, but again, I know that's not the purpose of the conversation. So, like, it wasn't that could have been avoided simply as that. But because they went there, that should have been the response of those Christians that were on there. So that's that. So again, I extend the invitation for anybody who is a citizen of the United States, because I feel like that's the only way this matters. If you're Muslim, if you're Jew, and you're Christian, holler at your boy. I want to set something up. Now, the last thing I want to touch on, and probably jump off because I got to get back to work, but I've been seeing this like weird take about this last second primary debate that happened for the GOP party, and the takes on it are strange to me. They're strange to me in the sense of, like, I'm not so sure I take away what they take away, and I feel like there's a lot of double standards or hypocrisy happening by certain people that are critiquing it, especially when it came to, like, Vivek Ramaswamy. He was judged from the first debate for recklessly attacking everybody on the stage for being puppets of their donors, right? Which was a bold move, and he did it quite often that night. But this time around, he changed up his tune, and now he's being critiqued for that too. So I just think that's very hypocritical. I think it takes a better man to know when he's wrong and change suit, instead of being prideful and egotistical and never changing his ways. And especially because for anybody who knows anything, that was the problem with a certain president not too far from now, right? And not to say that I have any issues with him as a president, but that was the issue a lot of people had with him as a president. So anyways, I don't think that's a fair critique of the guy, of Vivek. And if I had to say, I would say the people that stood out the most to me in that debate is Vivek and DeSantis. That's just the reality. I feel like Nikki Haley was... I don't like what her, Tim Scott, or Chris Christie, or Mike Pence did throughout that whole debate, and that's that they did what most liberals will do in a debate when they're debating against conservatives, and that's that they'll cut off the people they're talking, or even not just debates, even when liberal media, left-wing media will, and they have somebody who's like conservative or right-wing, so to speak, whatever, they'll cut them off before they actually get to finish their answers. They'll try and demonize the character of the person so that hopefully people will undermine what they have to say. That's the tactics of that side. To see the other side use that same tactic within their own party debate, I thought, to me, you already lose points there. And the fact that certain people are praising certain people or praising Nikki Haley for that, I thought that was weird. Like I don't know. So I just feel like now does that mean that I'm saying there's a winners, or they're gonna win or whatever, they got, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest with myself and with what I see in these debates, who I feel stood out the most, for one, not engaging in these stupid quarrels on that stage, is DeSantis and Vivek. What I will say again, it was like between the cutting off of people speaking, they did that a lot with Vivek. And the fact that they all attacked him, to me, that says something. I feel like if there's anybody they're scared of the most on that stage, it's probably him. And I think it shows because of that. But they did the same with DeSantis, to be honest, and that was weird. That does speak volumes, I think those are the two guys, to me, that stand out and that people are most afraid of on that stage. I don't think anybody who thinks Nikki Haley's doing something should think twice. I'm not saying that she's bad. I'm just saying that the tactics she chose to use that night speak volumes on her character, and not just her, but she did it the most. But same thing with Tim Scott. I'll call him out. Chris Christie, same thing. Although he wasn't that bad this time around, not really. But Mike Pence, the one I feel bad for the most is probably Doug Burgum. Because it looks like he has some bright ideas, but I don't think he has the popularity to go anywhere. But either way, that's my opinion. And I really do intend, all that to say that coming up pretty soon, hopefully within the end of the month, by the end of the month, I will be bringing Chop Shop back, and we're going to be discussing all these things: cultural things, political things, social things, faith-based things, entertainment, sports. We're going to get into the thick of things. I definitely just want to keep you guys aware that I'm here, and that it's going to go down. All right? So, that being said, much love. Peace out. God bless. Until next time, we out.